I laughed out loud when I saw the Dr. Oz Trump pick for running Medicare and Medicaid under the nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health and Human Services Director. The reason that I laughed is Medicare is for seniors in America. Medicaid is generally for poor people. And that's who watches Dr. Oz on daytime TV. That is what you call on brand. And it made me realize how important on brand is for each of us who want to become better at persuasion. One of the reasons that authors come to me, aspiring authors come to me for doing a book with them, is because they want to do a rebrand or a brand pivot. But they don't want to necessarily say, I'm no longer going to be a yoga teacher, just a yoga teacher. I am going to get into psychedelic retreats, because their audience will go, what? What did you just say? What's going to happen? Well, they're going to lose people. So, in order to keep their personal brand perception ship from capsizing by turning too quickly, they need to transition slowly. So what they would do is they would write the book for their yoga practice, their yoga wisdom, for their audience, of course. And they would pepper in there a few stories about their psychedelic experiences and trips that they've been on, and how that has significantly improved the health outcomes they've been getting from yoga. Do you see how that works, right? So I wanted to make myself be known not just as a ghostwriter, but as a hypnotist and as a professional persuader for hire, basically, and sort of an influencer in this space. So what did I do in order to make that happen? Well, I went and got the certification, for one thing, the professional certification as a certified hypnotist from the National Guild of Hypnotists, which is the largest and oldest governing body of hypnotists worldwide. And I was very public about how I was applying hypnosis principles and techniques to books I was writing, how I was doing it. And when you do that, it's not like you're, oh, wow, he's not a ghostwriter anymore. He's just a hypnotist, which is the concern if you do a rebrand wrong or you pivot too quickly and you start talking about something else all of a sudden that's seemingly unrelated. You have to tie the two together, publicly and loudly. The reason that personal branding and perception is so critical is, you might be familiar with the persuasion principle of consistency, meaning people know what to expect from you. And if you switch to something all of a sudden, you are anti-persuasive. People are going, whoa, why did she change? Why did he change? What's going on? What did I miss? Is there something wrong here? And they might wonder, oh, wow, so they failed at the previous business. So they might have said, oh, wow, so Joshua's not a ghostwriter anymore. Wow, I guess his business doesn't work anymore. Didn't work out. That's if I start talking about hypnosis consistently without any groundwork. People in the yoga teacher's audience, they might go, oh, she's talking about this all of a sudden. This has nothing to do with yoga. Oh, is she gonna shut down the yoga business? Maybe I should unsubscribe from her membership, right? And then people have this bizarre sort of abandonment issue that they go through. And that leads me to believe there is a good reason why Dr. Oz lost his Senate race in Pennsylvania to, you might recall, John Fetterman. And you might also remember that John Fetterman had been recovering from a stroke. And it showed. It showed it publicly. And it was really hard to watch. Because you have, wait, Dr. Oz, he's a daytime TV guy. He's not a politician. That doesn't make any sense. So I think he had a significant anti-persuasion message to deal with publicly. This is the public perception, right? And the result of that was that he lost. And as far as I can tell, he lost bigly to John Fetterman, who at the time seemed unable to string two sentences together. Way worse than Joe Biden. And they pulled Joe Biden out of the race. They did a palace coup of Joe Biden. It's rough, man. It's rough. Now, I say all this because it is critical, as Scott Adams says, that we each build our talent stacks. And as part of that talent stacking venture, there will be new things that you begin doing, new things you begin learning, applying, and offering. And there is a real concern that if you don't weave them into your current activities, your current stories, that people will go, wait, what? What's this guy doing? What's going on now? Well, he doesn't talk about that. That's not something he does. That doesn't make sense. And it does not go well for you. So you end up anti-persuading. So I say that this is a good place to end it right here. As you grow, make that growth publicly known and always tie it back to the other thing that you've been doing so that people understand, oh, it just makes sense. So if you're going to start offering a service or launching a product seemingly entirely unrelated from your audience's perspective, what you do, if it seems unrelated to what you do, then you need to start seeding that territory, preparing the territory, making it fertile so that your new thing can grow right alongside the old one. I think Dr. Oz is a good cautionary tale because his appointment is on brand. That's who knows who he is. He's a celebrity to the audiences that use Medicare and Medicaid. But as a political figure in Pennsylvania, what? It didn't make any sense. So I think there's a lot of ground he had to make up before the race even began. And I want you to have that same fate.